Hey everyone, it's Tuesday, October 31st, 2017, and it's time to go to work on music. Happy Halloween. It's been an excellent day. I'm in a really good place and really excited for a big day on the music front. So this is sort of the start of my work schedule changing so that I am moving closer towards being full-time working on music, which is just an absolute dream come true, and there's no other way to say that. Um, and so I've still got business commitments Sundays, Mondays, and Wednesdays for the next couple weeks. But then it's just going to be Sundays and Mondays. Then it's just going to be Sundays, and then it's going to be all music all the time, basically, for about 4 months. So I am really excited, and I'm really just making sure I set myself up with good habits so that I capitalize on that time because of course, to take that time and devote to music, that means I'm borrowing that from other things. And then I have some commitments that I've already agreed to starting in late March of next year, about April-ish, at very end of March next year. And so I want to make sure that I make the most of these few months and that I can then use that to basically put myself in a position to continue to do exactly what I want to do going forward. And this will be a great learning experience because I've never worked full-time on music for that long of a period, and so part of what I'm trying to discover is how much I enjoy working like that, whether I want to go full-time with music permanently or whether I would prefer to do it part-time and then either do some other stuff on top of that or just kind of feel that out. So we'll see. Um, so today I've got about 7-ish hours or so to work right now, and a total of about an 8-hour session. I just did some video editing and watched a great interview with John McLaughlin, um, and just getting inspired. And I'm excited, so I'm going to hit some online classes, probably go a little further than I usually do, and update you guys with what I'm doing there. Going to hit a quick drum practice, keep that on the lighter side just to save energy for tracking later. And then I'm going to try to get into retracking the guitar solo for this tune. I don't know exactly how I feel about that. I guess the way I feel about it is what I have right now is really exceptional, and I kind of don't want to mess with it, but at the same time, I want to know if there's a level beyond where I've already gone, because I normally wouldn't push myself to that place once I have something that I just feel like is like, okay, this is good enough for the track. And I want to push myself and see what lies beyond that place of having something that's good enough. And I want to see if I can get something even better. If I can't, okay, no big deal. Or if it's, I mean, I guess, I could spend the rest of my life, every waking moment for the rest of my entire life working on this guitar solo to try to make it as good as it can be. But there's obviously a point of diminishing returns, so I want to go to that point and just satisfy my own intellect and curiosity to see, like, where is that place where I'm getting the best results I can possibly get without destroying my entire life to get a marginally better result, if that makes sense. Because there's always a balance there, right? I mean, I could work on this song for the rest of my life, and maybe it would be the greatest song ever, but like, maybe there's 1,000 other songs that are even better that I could have made, but I was just stuck on this one, you know what I'm saying? So, looking for that sweet spot is where I'm at today. I'm going to do the same thing with the vocals. I've got the first I've got all the vocals are in a really, really good place right now. The first chorus is slightly edited. I did yesterday, so I want to get in there and track another first chorus to see if I get something that's even better. If it isn't, I'll just stay with what I have now. But again, I just want to satisfy my curiosity, do my diligence to make sure that it's as good as it's going to be. So I'll do some tracking there. Probably no more than an hour, hour and a half on those things. And then, of course, I'm gonna take a break mid-session, and then I'm going to come back and start getting deep on the drum front. I'm gonna do some drum sound research, go through all my kits, all my bass drum snares, toms, etc., to try to get the best kit I can for this track and really get the sound I want. And then start writing the parts and start tracking the drums and just get as far as I can with that today. And yeah, so appreciate you guys coming along for the ride. I'll update you guys at the end with what I accomplish. And this is probably going to be a longer video. Sorry for the longer intro, but I just want to document this for myself and for everyone else to just say like, hey, I'm going to this next level in terms of my investment on the music front, and this is how I'm currently doing it. I'm going to mix in some of those more active tracking things with some online classes and just bounce back and forth with that so I don't tire myself out too much, and so that I can get the maximum emotion when I'm actually recording stuff before I move into, I don't want to exhaust myself basically, because I want to leave something in the tank for tomorrow. So here we go. Okay, I'm actually going to pause where I am right now and just take a breather because I'm feeling just a lot of fatigue and input into my left hand right now, my fretting hand, because I'm working on this solo and I realized that I didn't do quite a good enough job making it super clean and tight exactly the way I wanted it to sound the first time learning it incrementally. So now I'm going back and fixing all these things that weren't done the right way the first time. Now the thing is, I don't know if I could have known to do it the right way unless I did it that way and then tracked it and then realized, okay, it doesn't sound the way I want it to. So maybe it's all good, but I think this is a good lesson for the future. And where I'm at now is like I probably could keep going and continue to work on it, but like why push it physically? You know, why even take the risk of possibly getting injured or hurting myself or doing long-term damage? I mean, that is not why I'm doing this. I'm not under that type of time pressure, and if something hurts, you know, I think the best move is just stop, take the loss for the day, pick it up in a couple days. Like, is a couple days really that big of a deal? I mean, even if you're a working musician, you know, you give up the gig or something like that so that you can play for the rest of your life, you know, like I just met a musician recently who got carpal tunnel from over practicing, and now she just straight up can't play for like a year. And you know, it's hard confronting our own physical limitations, but I'm happy that I'm going there and that I'm reaching that, and that I'm hopefully making the right decision right now to just kind of take a break. But be back in a few, gonna have some food and rest a little bit, make sure my body has all the nutrients it needs to be at its best, and then I'll just keep trucking. All right, pretty epic session. It's my second 8-hour session of this sort of push that I'm heading into, first and second of many. And I'm getting better at managing it. You know, this was better than the last one as far as like my focus and how I used the time. But I think the main takeaway is it still could have been improved, I think, from the big picture as far as like productivity and just focus goes. And I think I can do a even more thorough job of planning from the very beginning of the session, being a little more strategic about when I do what. For example, doing vocals and drums a little earlier, since those are pretty energy intensive, and doing guitars and computer editing later, since those are slightly less energy intensive, and also sonically, as far as people in the house go, a little bit less invasive. So that's a good takeaway, and I'll be better about that going forward. So I have another session on Thursday, and have a chance to make up some ground there. But I hit the online class front. This is getting to be a while ago now to recap this. Maybe I should start recapping as I go. But just got more on email marketing, how to use automation tools, and a couple little specific tips about how to craft good emails and build a relationship with people who like your stuff, which is awesome. And then I jumped into a quick drum practice, kept that pretty light, but just moved forward on my stick control mastery checklist journey. Just going further with one of those exercises, trying to get it super perfect 11 times straight. I think I went for 20 reps, which was really good. And now it's probably time to introduce the metronome to those studies and work on my speed a little bit. So that'll be a good next step. Took a short break, did some reading. No huge takeaways from that. I think I got set back in my book, so I'm just like catching back up to myself there, recording secrets for the small studio. Then got into the production front and started reworking this guitar solo, and I talked about that before my break. Yeah, just slowing things down, reworking things, smoothing things out, making sure that next time I go to track it, it's just like bam, 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 like it's already where it needs to be before I even start going deep on it. So that'll be good, and I think I'm gonna, I was thinking about coming back later in the session and working on that, and I probably could have, honestly, but I just feel with physical things, if I'm starting to feel the limits a little bit, or if I feel any pain, it's just, why risk it? Why risk it? Like I said before, just what's the point of that? I can just, my impatience with it, you know, it's fine to feel that. I wanted to knock it out today, but like if I knock it out in a few days from now, like who cares? Or even next week, as long as it gets done, it's all good. So that's great. And then I jumped back in after a break and listened back to some of the vocals in the first verse and chorus. Listened to all the vocals in the track actually, and yeah, a couple parts probably could be a little bit better. So I think what I'm going to do is tomorrow, probably Thursday, I will spend some time retracking the first verse. The problem is I don't want it to be too good, because then it could possibly outshine the second and third chorus, but I kind of want that first chorus to be amazing so that, you know, people are into the track, and it's so it's kind of a fine line right there, but I'll do my best, and I've got something usable if what I track doesn't end up panning out. So that'll be great, and then I bounced that rough mix down so that I can start working on the drums soon, and then I spent a couple hours just fidgeting with drum sounds, and that was quite productive. I went through like every snare and kick drum that I think I have in my sample library, which is probably like 50 virtual instruments. It was a lot. But I made the mistake of auditioning them for about an hour on closed-backed headphones, which is particularly terrible for kick drums, because with closed-back headphones, I've talked about this before, but if you don't know, this is really valuable information. With closed-back headphones, because it's closed off, the energy from low frequency and bass sounds fills up the cans, and because it's trapped against your head, it can over-accentuate certain bass frequencies, which is awesome for listening sometimes. If you want something that really knocks, usually closed-back headphones are great for feeling that vibe, but when it comes to auditioning sounds and trying to get a realistic picture of how it's going to sound, it's very misleading. And so I can see where some of my production miscues in the past happened using these for auditioning and for tracking. So I went to my open back headphones, which just are a much more accurate picture, and that kind of totally changed the game as far as the drum sounds went and which drums I wanted, which was a bummer because I kind of lost an hour, but it was worth the price to learn that lesson and not do it again. And I've been using those headphones more and more for tracking and auditioning. These are good for just like getting a second perspective or real-world-ish type of perspective for mixing, things like that. Just making sure I'm on the right track, making sure things are translating. Yeah, and I, funnily enough, I bought all these new sample libraries because I wanted some of the drums in them, and they sound incredible. I mean, the Superior Drummer line, Tune Track, like, there's nothing that even is in the ballpark as far as flexibility and professional quality. goes. But the factory, or the thing that comes when you buy Superior Drummer, the Avatar sound library, this is my day for lots of air quotes. I guess I'm feeling it, feeling the quotes. But it ended up being that after auditioning a bunch from the Metal Foundry and Hit Factory and Alair, which are all these really amazing studios, and getting some really killer sounds, there were sounds that I really liked. It turned out that just the regular Avatar ones with the GMS custom drums, I think were fitting what my vision for the track was most. So sometimes alright, just filled up my SD card for the very first time, so that's a nice little milestone. Getting a lot of good footage today, I guess, or just a lot of footage. Anyway, so did end up getting a kit and a sound for the drums that I'm very happy with as far as a preliminary set goes, and got the tuning in the right key with the song and cymbals and stuff. And I'm really, really excited to start tracking drums on this song. I think the song is going to just really come alive with some drum parts. It's my hope, at least, and it's going to be very close to completion once I get these vocals retracked, once I get the guitar solo finished. Then it's just going to be kind of putting some finishing touches on things, and then hopefully moving on to the next song relatively soon, because I think it's about time. And I'll just come back for the finer tuning stuff in the mixing mastering phase, which will come soon enough, I'm sure. So that was excellent, and then I moved from that, and I was just feeling a little tired, and also I just sonically I didn't want to sing super loud. There was other people around, and I just thought, let me just take care of that over the next couple days, because that'll be easy to do even if I'm fatigued after a workout, which tomorrow and Thursday are workout days. So really just Thursday will be impacted by that, which is why I'll probably try to get the guitar solo done tomorrow if I can. We'll see how my hands are feeling. But yeah, that was pretty much the whole session. I just from there got into my songwriters workshop harmony book from Berkeley Press that I'm working through right now, and yeah, it was great to get back into that. It had been a really, really long time, and I just always want to increase my harmony knowledge, theory knowledge, and just general pop music knowledge for sure. So it was a really good use of about the last hour of the session, because I was just a little burnt, and it was a lot better than just like calling it early or something like that. So appreciate you guys for tuning in as always. Hope you guys are out there grinding towards your goals, enjoying the process. That's what I'm out here doing, getting used to these longer days. It's going to be the regular pretty soon, which is pretty exciting, and I'm excited to get in a good groove with them and get a good routine going and just start kicking even more, as much butt as I possibly can with this stuff. So have a great night, guys. See you tomorrow for more.